There are many books about success, many books about happiness, many books about mindset, but very few books were written by someone who stared death in the face every single day and still chose hope. Man's Search for Meaning is not a motivational book. It doesn't hype you up. It doesn't promise quick fixes. Instead, it quietly asks one question: what keeps a human being alive when everything is taken away? This book was written by Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist who survived Nazi concentration camps, a place where freedom, dignity, family, and even identity were stripped away. What he discovered there changes the way you see suffering, loneliness, success, and the meaning of life itself. Frankl didn't study suffering from a distance. He lived inside it. In the camps, people lost their names, their clothes, their careers, their loved ones. Every day brought hunger, cold, humiliation, death. People were reduced to numbers. And yet Frankl noticed something strange. Some people collapsed quickly. Others endured unbelievable pain and somehow stayed human. Not because they were stronger, not because they were smarter, but because they had meaning. Lesson 1. Suffering is unavoidable, but meaning is a choice. Frankl makes a brutal but honest claim. Life will involve suffering. There is no escape. The question is not, how do I avoid pain? The real question is, why am I willing to endure it? In the camps, those who believed their suffering was pointless lost the will to live. But those who believed their pain had meaning, even future meaning, held on. Some wanted to see their families again. Some wanted to finish unfinished work. Some wanted to bear witness so the world would know the truth. Pain didn't disappear, but it became bearable, because meaning turns suffering from torture into sacrifice. Lesson 2. Everything can be taken from you, except one thing. Frankl observed something terrifying and beautiful at the same time. Guards could control your food, your sleep, your body. But there was one thing they could never control: your attitude. Even in the camps, people still had a choice. Not over circumstances, but over how they responded. Some became cruel. Some became numb. Some gave up. Others shared bread, comforted the dying, protected strangers. Frankl realized, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our freedom. Meaning lives in that space. Lesson 3. Loneliness ends when purpose begins. The camps were full of people, yet loneliness was everywhere. Frankl discovered something shocking. Loneliness isn't caused by absence of people. It's caused by absence of meaning. You can be surrounded by others and still feel empty. And you can be completely alone and still feel strong, if you know why you're alive. This is why modern loneliness feels so heavy. Not because we lack connection, but because we lack direction. Lesson 4. Happiness cannot be pursued. It must ensue. Frankl warns against chasing happiness directly. The more you demand happiness, the more it slips away. Happiness is a byproduct. It comes when you dedicate yourself to something bigger than you. You serve someone beyond yourself. You commit to a meaningful task. People who survived the camps weren't thinking, I want to be happy. They were thinking, I must survive for this reason. Meaning came first. Happiness followed quietly. Lesson 5. Love is the highest form of meaning. One of the most powerful moments in the book is when Frankl realizes something unexpected. Even when everything was taken from him, he could still think about his wife. He didn't know if she was alive or dead, but the thought of her, the love he held, gave him strength. Frankl writes that love allows us to see the potential in another human being. Even in a place built on hatred, love remained untouchable. Meaning doesn't always come from achievements. Sometimes it comes from connection. Lesson 6. You are responsible for your life, even in pain. This is where the book becomes deeply uncomfortable. Frankl doesn't say, life owes you happiness. He says, life asks something from you. Even suffering asks a question. How will you respond? Victimhood explains pain. Meaning transcends it. This doesn't deny trauma. It gives you agency despite it. Lesson 7. Success is not the goal. Purpose is. Frankl criticizes modern obsession with success. Success, he says, is like a shadow. Chase it and it runs away. Focus on purpose and it follows naturally. A meaningful life is not an easy life. It's a worthwhile one. Man's search for meaning doesn't tell you what your purpose should be. It simply tells you this. No matter how dark life becomes, your life still has meaning. And the moment you find your why, you become stronger than any how. Subscribe to Pages to Purposes for more wisdom from books that change lives. Because every page holds a purpose, if you're willing to look for it.